How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be mounting the chicken coop door on the small mini chicken coop. And I actually did a video on the chicken coop door quite a few years ago. And it was very hard for me to do the video because I didn't do it when I put it together. I just went up and tried to do a video and give you measurements of it on the coop itself. So I've taken the chicken coop door off. I got it laid out here. I'm going to try to give you the measurements of everything and show you how it's put together and how it works. And this door automatically locks on its own. When you close it, it automatically locks. So then raccoons, possums, and that can't go up there and pry that door open and get in and get your chickens. So let me give you a closer look at the chicken coop door and how it's built and the sizes on it. Now this is the chicken coop door. I made this, like I said, quite a few years ago, and I made it from angle iron. This is an angle iron, just sort of like a box, and it's made for my door to be able to slide up and slide down. Just basically all this is the locking mechanism. It has these two pins sticking out, which are just bolts welded onto it, one there and one here. And then it's just angle iron, just a track for that door to go in and up and down on. So let me give you some measurements of the size of the track itself. Now the angle iron, this angle iron is about 7/8 of an inch wide, about 7/8. I'm sure you could use 1 inch. I'm sure that would be fine. That's 7/8 of an inch, this angle. This is a really thin angle. I would suggest using a little heavier one because this is hard to weld. And these are just two little plates I welded on here just to be able to screw it to the wall. These are to screw it to the wall. And all this you'll be able to understand as I put it on the coop. Now the length of this one is up and down is 26 inches. Total 26 inches from the top to the bottom. And wide, this door is about 10 3/8 of an inch wide. 10 3/8 of an inch wide. So you'd need these two pieces and then these two. Then you'll need 4 small chunks to put where you're going to bolt it to the wall. Now I just use this is like a 7/16 bolt sticking out of here. This is like a 7/16 bolt, about 1 inch sticking up, and I just welded them on there very close to the track right here, very close, because I needed these hooks over here to hook onto them. So that is the track that everything sets into. I built this all out of scrap metal. I built it out of this thin metal here because that's what I had on hand. If I don't have to buy it, I don't want to buy it. So that's that piece there. Let me one more time over the frame itself. Let's give you the measurements one more time. 26 inches long, 26 inches from top to bottom, and 10 3/8 wide. Now let's flip this thing over. This is the board. This is your actual door. And this door is made from, looks to be 3/8. Let's see. I'm going to say that's 1/2 inch plywood. So we got 1/2 inch plywood here. And we have 2 stove bolts. And these are rounded on the edge. Because when it goes up and down, you don't want it scratching your wall. Because this is going to be outside. Basically inside, but this will be facing outside, if that makes any sense. I'll show you when we get to putting it together. And at the top here, I just put a little tiny eye hook right here, and that's where your string's going to go down through here. And these guys here, these 2 things right here, are actually this is your locking mechanism right here. These 2 things are your locking mechanism. And what they do is, you're going to hook your strings on these, and when the strings come down, it locks, and then it won't open. Strings pull it up, strings pull it down. If you see these hooks on the end, see how they go up and down. So let me tell you, those are 2 stove bolts. Look to be about 1.5 inches long. These are 2 stove bolts, 1.5 inches long. Now, what I've done with mine, let me see if I get a little better close up on these. So I want you to understand how these work. Now, if you look here, I have the stove bolt is 1.5 inches. I put a washer down and a nut down in here, and I tightened it to the bolt, or to the board, the 1/2 inch plywood. And then I put a washer behind that and a washer in front. Now this is 1/4 inch dowel, and all I did was flatten this out a little bit on one end and drill a hole for my string. I welded a washer, just like the washer that's in here now. I welded a washer right in that 90-degree angle there. And then I just bent these. I heated them up and bent them just so they would go over that hook. I'm going to try to give you a length on this. And this only, you kind of have to do this as you're building it, because when you drill your holes, the hole is actually going to be about, looks to be about 1.75 inches from the center of that bolt to the edge over here. And that really depends on where you weld them 2 locks on this. See, like these 2 locks right here, it depends on where you weld these. So you could actually put these on first if you want, and then weld these on. You kind of got to go do it in steps. But that piece of from like the angle over is about 3 3/4 inch from here to that tip over there where I bent it. And then I bent it down about 1.5 inches, over about 1 inch, and then up about 3/4 or 1 inch. And I think if you take your time, you can do this. And you want these to be really loose in here. You don't want them to be tight in any way, because if they're tight, they're not gonna lock. And then the very last thing I did was when I put the nut on the top here, I put some Loctite on there, because I didn't want this bolt to tighten or loosen. I wanted it to be really loose in there, so I put some Loctite on them. I was going to take these off and see if I could get a better view of them, but all it is a washer welded right in that 90-degree angle. So let's get the measurement on the board itself. The board is 10 inches wide and 13 inches from top to bottom. 13 inches from top to bottom. And this basically just has to fit in your track. I'll show you the track again, how it fits. Now one thing else I wanted to tell you about the door. You want to make sure you sand all the edges so it doesn't have anything to catch on. Because if it stops, it's going to be a little bit hard to get it open and closed. So basically this part of the door itself is actually just going to lay in here. It's not tight at all. The door is not tight at all. And as you can see, when you try to open it with it down, it's locked. It's not going to come open. And what's cool about it is, now what you want to make sure is this distance from here to here is heavier and bigger than what material you have over here, because you want that to be heavier so it locks that door down. So we'll get to putting it up, and then we'll show you just a little bit more about how it works once we get it up and get it on the chicken coop. Alright, I just marked out my door where I want it. I'm going to drill 4 holes, 1 in each corner. Now we have our door. A door hole anyhow. So basically we're just lining that up with those holes there. And we're going to go ahead and screw this together. that's pretty simple. See, our door is going to open and close pretty easy in that crack. Alright, I just put a little frame around the door just to kind of hold all that wood into place, because that was pilot wood and there's no support behind there, but this will be just fine to hold that all together. Alright, I got everything wired up, all the rope is in place, and the door is ready to work, and I'll show you what I did. I got an eye hook right there at the top of the board. Then I got an eye hook up here, three on the ceiling here, just to keep the rope going straight. I don't want it to get tangled up in the chickens. And this will go, I'll drill a hole right through the side of the wall. Right through the side of the wall. And this will be where you pull to open and unlock your door. To lock and unlock your door and open your door. This thing does all. It'll open the door, it'll lock the door when you close the door. I'll show you how that works. Now when I pull on the strings, you can see them two things on the side unlock the door, and then I just keep pulling on the rope and it opens the door. Then when I lock the door, you can see that both the two things came down and locked the door. So now the door can't be opened from the outside, nor can it either be opened from the inside unless you pull them two things up. Open, close, and lock. With that door in the lock position, I'll take a screwdriver and try to get that door open. And there's no way a coon or something is going to get that door open. They're not going to get it open. Those locks are holding it nice and tight. So it's just one way of keeping your chickens safe. And when you close the door, it's locked. They can't pry that open. Alright, that's my locking chicken coop door. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that helped some people out. Now, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'll try to do my best to answer them to the best of my knowledge. And I think this door is going to be a great door. I had it on my other coop, and nothing ever got into them, and never had a bit of problem with it. Even as far as that rope goes across the top, I think I probably could use a couple pulleys up there instead of the eye hooks. That would help me from having to restring it every few years. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good little locking door. So I would like to tell everybody thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time. Open, close, and lock. Pretty cool. Unlocked and open, closed and locked.